Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another NSHL live stream. I'm DNP, and alongside me is Builder, and we welcome you inside the Lucas Oil Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana, where we've got an interesting matchup tonight between the visiting Boston Riptide and the hometown Indianapolis Motorheads. It's an interesting week coming up for the NSHL, as we've got a lot to talk about in terms of the playoffs. A lot of teams can get moved around this week. Teams will clinch. We might even, there's no might about it. We will definitely see a team clinch a playoff spot tonight as the Boston Riptide and the Indianapolis Motorheads sit atop the Southwest Airlines Conference. And things will get interesting from there. So, since we've already kind of mentioned it a little bit, let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines Conference standings. Most notably, it's the Boston Riptide and Indianapolis Motorheads at the top. They play tonight, and the winner out of those two clinches a playoff spot. Oh, wait. Hold on. No, I've got this wrong. It's the Detroit Royals playing the Indianapolis Motorheads. Sorry. Hold on. Whoops. I forgot to look at the schedule. That's right. It's the Detroit Royals playing the Indianapolis Motorheads. Never mind. That makes things different. Still, if the Indianapolis Motorheads clinch a playoff spot, if the Indianapolis Motorheads win this game tonight, they clinch a playoff spot. If the Indianapolis Motorheads do not win this game tonight, they probably still could clinch a playoff spot, depending on how the Clearwater Threshers play later on in this week. If Detroit wins, nothing really important happens. They just move out of last place. Let's go through the standings while we're at it. The Boston Riptide are at the top. They lead the conference with 9 wins, 4 losses, and 1 overtime loss for a total of 19 points. They are tied with these Indianapolis Motorheads, 9-4-1. They get the tiebreaker based on an extra regulation win. Then in third place, it's the Washington Nationals coming off of a big win against I forgot who they played last week, if I'm being honest. Let's look. It was the Boston Riptide they played last week. So big win for them. For the Washington Nationals, sits them in third place. They are 9-5-0 for 18 points. Just ahead of the Tampa Bay Ilves, who are 8-4-2. The tiebreaker goes to the Washington Nationals on total wins. Then fourth place belongs to the Tampa Bay Ilves. Fifth place are the Clearwater Threshers, who are on the outside looking in. They would love to win this week and potentially get into that final transfer spot. They are 8-5-0 for 16 points. Vancouver Outlaws are the first team in the Southwest Airlines Conference eliminated. They sit in 6th. They are 6-7-1 for 13 points. 7th and 8th place is a tie between the New York Liberties and the Detroit Royals, who are also mathematically eliminated. New York is 5-8-1. So are the Detroit Royals. The extra point there, and by extra point I mean the tiebreaker, is in the form of regulation wins. New York with 5, Detroit with 4. Moving over to the games we'll get to later in the week, the PPG Paints Conference. The St. Louis Cyclones and Quebec City Bandits both sit at the top of the conference. Both are tied 9-4-1 for 19 points, and both squads have clinched a playoff spot. The St. Louis Cyclones currently hold first place in the conference by an extra regulation win, putting the Quebec City Bandits in second. However, that could potentially change tonight. The New Fencers, Quebec taking the top spot, could clinch later tonight. The Lillies Fencers are in third place right now. They are 8-5-1 for 17 points. They are 1 point ahead of the New Orleans Wildcats, who are 8-6-0 for 16 points. Then in 5th place, it's a tie between the Amsterdam Red Bull and the San Francisco Flight. Currently, that tiebreaker goes all the way to goals for, I do believe. Though that may change with a game next week between those two teams as they play each other, and that game could ultimately end up being what decides potentially a playoff spot, depending on how things go. 6th place belongs to the San Francisco Flight. Both teams are 6-2 for 14 points. The first team eliminated in the PPG Paints Conference are the Copperopolis Crew. They are 4-7-3 for 11 points. Then 8th place are the Chuo City Dragons, 14 games played. That's where that number comes from. They are 4-10-0 for 8 points. Builder, what do you have for the playoffs?
Well, before
bracket?
we move on to the game, we'll just fire over to the playoff bracket here. If the playoffs were to start today, we'd have 4 interesting matchups. We'd have the New Orleans Wildcats being hosted by the St. Louis Cyclones in round number 1. Obviously, these can still change as the Cyclones and Bandits are so close together. If the Bandits were to win their next game and Cyclones were to lose, it would swap. Then the Wildcats would be visiting the Bandits in round number 1. And obviously, that could change for New Orleans too. They could move up to 3rd, and then it would be Lil Nice facing the Bandits. But if it were to start today, the New Orleans Wildcats would be playing the St. Louis Cyclones. And the second series in the PPG conference would be the Lil Nice Fencers and the Quebec City Bandits. On the other side of the table, on the Southwest Conference side of things, the Tampere Ilves would currently be visiting the Boston Riptide for the first 2 games and 4 of the series. And on the other series in that division would be the Washington Nationals versus the Indy Motorheads. Obviously, these can still change. There's still 2 weeks left. Tampere could completely fall outside of a playoff spot if they lose their last 2 games, and Clearwater could get in there and pass them. The same with New Orleans. They could fall out, and you could have Amsterdam or San Francisco fill that hole. A lot of shifting, probably still yet to be done, but if the playoffs were to start today, this was what the playoff bracket would look like. Just one more view back at the standings here. If we were to go back to the PPG standings, it seems like the magic number is 18, as that is the max number that Amsterdam and San Francisco can reach towards the end of the season. Lil Nice currently sitting 1 off that magic number, and New Orleans 2. Now, it doesn't guarantee them a spot if they get 18, so I guess to guarantee them a spot, it would be 19. But it's more than likely they would make the playoffs with that amount of points. On the Southwest side of things, you're going to need a little more than that. It seems like 20 or more would steer you clear of the Clearwater Threshers. Obviously, that is barring them losing. The Threshers, the Flight, and the Amsterdam Red Bull are going to have to win out in order to finish this or in order to make the playoffs this season. And one interesting tidbit: I don't think any of those teams have 2 home games to end. I think they're all 1-1 to end the season. So just something to keep an eye on when we're or for the rest of the year.
Well, with that out of the way, do you have any last-minute things to add before we send things down to ice level?
I don't think I have anything in particular. Just watch for an absolute slaughter for Indianapolis tonight. Obviously, Detroit has nothing to play for at this point of the season. They've been dead last all year long. Maybe they have something to play for, not finishing last or second last, I guess, in the entire league, last in the division. But I think overall, this might be a pretty handed Indy win as they're trying to clinch their playoff spot. They're trying to get first seed and have a chance to be home or have home ice advantage all the way through the playoffs. So I'd just say watch out for a lack of effort from the Royals and watch for some pretty intense hockey for the Indy Motorheads.
With that out of the way, let's dim the lights, send things down to ice level with team introductions and the national anthems.
say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the
With the anthems out of the way, the lights come back on, and we're set to go for some hockey between the Royals and the Motorheads. NT Ronta gets the start for Indianapolis, and in the pipes is Elvis Merzlikins for the Indianapolis Motorheads. It's Chitrin and Eichel at center ice, and we are just about underway. Puck drops, and we get started here from Indianapolis, and the Motorheads already having to get to it defensively. It's Byram. Works it out. This could go. Shot there. Score!
What a shot. Right from center ice. And this is exactly the tone I think Indy wants to set. They're coming right at the Royals saying, you can't beat us, and we're going to the playoffs. Indy up early, 1-0.
Rasmus Anderson, I do believe, gets this one. And he just throws it all the way down the ice. And Antti Ranta, don't know if he didn't expect it, but he was well out of position, and it's 1-0 Motorheads, and that's how you get started on home ice. You get the crowd into it early. And now let's see if they can roll that momentum. Taves and Monahan. Taves wins the draw, sent it just wide. Sean Monahan to the puck for the Royals, trying to work it out. And now Detroit does. Shot there, wide and out of play for a whistle, 18-18. Voracek and Cousins now to the draw. And the Motorheads win it again. Shot, rebound, save made by Ronta, and it comes all the way down. A quick face-off win leads to a quick offensive chance on that draw. And now let's see if they can do it again. It's Cousins and Eichel this time. Cousins, shot, just missed the net wide. And it is cleared all the way down. Back to it is Connor McDavid, working it to the corner. Trying to get it to the slot, and it pops out of play again with 16:22 remaining. A face-off win for the Motorheads. Gets it into the offensive zone, through the crease, does not go. Worked around behind the net. Bowen Byron to it. Cleared out now by Detroit. Back to get it is the goal scorer, Anderson. He's beaten to the puck by Brown, but digging it out is Anderson. Chance there, save, rebound! No, goal there! Cleared away and out of play yet again. chances early and often for the Motorheads. Puck works its way around, brought back in by Frederick Gauthier. Motorheads feed it to the slot for Bunting. Does not go. Working it towards the slot. Cleared out now by Connor Brown. The length of the ice. Bounces back toward the slot. Gauthier towards the side of his own goal. And it stays out. And the Motorheads clear it back down the length. Gauthier missed the puck. Detroit works it out to the line. It is Tanev, though. He tries to work it back around. Bunting pressured by Connor Brown, and he gave it away. Breakaway. Gauthier lost it. Chance there. Cleared out by the Motorheads. All the way down where it is Chris Tanev who shoots wide. Finds its way back into the Indy zone. It is Miller looking toward the point. This takes an Indy bounce off the boards, but slips just wide before retrieved by the Detroit forward. Colin Miller bringing it in. Pressured by Bunting. Worked out by the Motorheads. Back to get it is Jack Eichel for the Royals. Rimmed it around behind the net. Connor McDavid now to it for Detroit. Worked back. Chance there, just missed the net wide. The rebound comes out. Bjorkstrand to it. Tays now. And then it is cleared out. Worked back in by Bjorkstrand. Eichel lying down. To it is Bjorkstrand. Worked across by Jamie Benn, trying to get it in. Now he does gain the zone. Behind the net. Played out to Quentin Byfield. He's got it. Lost it to Bobby Orr. He's dangerous. But he didn't quite, have the control he wanted. Chance there, just wide. And I do believe out of play. 4:48 remains in the first period. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Motorheads. Cleared in for Detroit. Byfield working it to the point. Trying to clear it. Laying down is Cam Atkinson. He makes a great defensive play. Jay getting it out. Gives to Atkinson, and then he lost it. Byfield trying to turn it the right direction for Indy, but he lost it. Dumped in by Detroit. Worked out by Pellick. Unirator to the near side boards. They scrum for it. Behind the net. Worked out. Jordan Stahl to it. He lays down. Jay missed it. Shot there, just wide. And cleared all the way down. It'll bounce back toward the slot. Chance there, just missed wide. To the near side. And it is cleared out. Taken to the far side corner. Cleared, and that might have gone in if it were not for the end of the period. After one, shots 3-0, the score 1-0, both in favor of the Motorheads.
And what a great start it was for the Motorheads. They knew they had to come into this game and win to try to set themselves apart from Boston. They want that home ice advantage all the way to the playoffs. A win would prove huge towards their President's Trophy chances and finishing first in the regular season. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things of the playoffs, that doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, but home ice doesn't mean nothing. I've kind of figured they were coming to this game having a no-mercy attitude towards Detroit, and with a shotless period out of the Royals, not surprised it went the way it did. Good period for Indy, not so good for Detroit.
And a strong start there for the Motorheads to begin period two. A good chance. Doesn't develop, but a good start getting something offensively. Now Bobby Orr trying to hold the line, and he does. Byfield, though, clears it out. Back defensively is McDavid for Detroit. but it finds its way back into the hands of the Motorheads. They lost it, comes back into the zone, just missing it wide, and PK missed the target. And cleared out. Takes a bounce to Jonathan Taves. He works with Bean, trying to get it to the point. Cleared away from trouble. Now it is out of the zone. Bean to the near side boards. Off the side! Chance there! A great chance for Detroit, and Lincoln said no. Held in though. Detroit holds the line. Chance there! Skips wide. Cleared out. Worked in by Indy, worked back out, and now a breakaway. Jordan Stahl to it, just wide. Cleared down the length of the ice. It will be picked up by Fowler. Sent to the corner, Niederreiter laying down. Work to the slot! And cleared away by Detroit's defense. Cody Eakin now defensively. Slavin works it back the other way. Niederreiter now looking to the slot. Can't get it there. Worked back in by Indianapolis. Dylan Cousins now behind the net. He skips it out. Cam Fowler now for Detroit. Shot! Oh, that might have gone in, but I think Eichel blocked his team's own opportunity. And now Detroit has to regroup. Cam Fowler gets it in. Takes a bounce into the slot. Save made by Lincoln. And the crowd cheers their goaltender for that one. Bounces back through the slot. And they continue to battle for it. Shea against Tanev. Worked out. Still with it. Worked to the slot. And now, in. Chance there. Shot wide. Working it to the blue line. Chance there. Just misses to the far side. And it's in the corner once more. Cleared out. To it is Milbury. He gave it away. Zaka, though, gave it back. Milbury cleared. Bounces through the slot. Saved by Holtby. Pellick there. Now for Indy through the back. This will not count.
Show the highlight up here on stream. This. Let's just see what we're at here. Live. I didn't fully see it, but I will take your word for it that I went to the back. And whoops, I didn't do that. And absolutely right. Right to the back of the net. No surprise.
So after video review, it was determined no goal here. And so we continue. The score is 1-0. Winning the draw are the Indy Motorheads. But I do believe it pops back out of play. We get a and off the draw, it finds its way back into the Indianapolis zone. Takes an odd bounce off the boards. And it is Cody Eakin to it. Worked it out for Detroit. Or rather, for Indianapolis, based on the direction it was headed. And now Detroit reverses it towards their own goal, and it just missed wide. But this could work. It bounces off. It'll bounce off the inboards and not go the direction they wanted. Jordan stalled to it behind the net. Takes it up. Odd bounce off of Cody Eakin. And out of the corner, bounces to the slot. Chance there. Oh, it was on the goal line, and it did not go. How does that stay out? And it is cleared. Bounces back to Tanev. He works it around behind. It's Pavel Zacha to it. Monahan laying down. Gives to his teammate. And now it is worked across the line. Gauthier to it. Behind the net. Monahan. Bunting now. Tanev there as well. Or punches it further. It is Sean Monahan to it. 10 seconds to go in the period. And that'll do it for the second. After 2, the shots are 9-1 in favor of the Motorheads. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Motorheads as we go to the intermission.
Well, a better period out of both sides, honestly. I mean, Indy got put up quite a few more shots. Detroit put up a couple shots. Obviously, the scoreboard still matches what it did at the end of the first. Honestly, a better offensive period from Indy, a worse defensive period. They actually allowed a little bit of offensive pressure from Detroit. Detroit was able to get a couple shots on goal. I mean, you could say the same for the Royals, though. They're not able to dampen the offensive pressure out of what has been one of the best teams in NSHL all season long. Indy's just got to keep doing what they're doing, and they'll get home, or they'll clinch a playoff spot later on this evening.
Shot there, just wide for the Detroit Royals as they want to draw in this game. That was one of their better looks. However, the Motorheads got it back. And now they have it in the zone. Can they hold the zone, though, as it's worked out? Byram actually is the one carrying it back. Gave it away to Anderson. And still loose. Now it's worked across the line, fed to the slot, no one waiting. And cleared to the near side boards. Trying to play it off Anderson. Atkinson there as well, worked to the slot. No one there waiting. Cleared. Voracek, he lost it. It's cleared out. And now it is beamed to it. Slavin laying down. Cleared out by Indianapolis. To the slot. Voracek rather, to it. Couldn't control it. Chance there, shot wide. Brought back in by Voracek. Off the corner boards, out front, Colin Miller was there, but he didn't get in time, and it's out of play. Taves won the draw and sent it in, but it is worked out by Detroit. Here's a chance. These two teams met once before, and it took overtime to figure things out. We'll see if it takes overtime again. Worked free. Chance. Oh, just wide of Taranta's net. And Detroit brings it back in. Worked out and out of play for a whistle. 12:03 to go for the Royals to tie this back up. And it ends up in the Royals zone. Worked clear. Zacha to the puck. Steers it to the corner. Bounces back toward the slot. Monahan! Missed a wide open net. Cleared. Save made by Ranta. 10th save of the night. Or rather, 9th save, 10th shot. As the Motorheads try to work it back out. Or Detroit, rather, tries to work it out. Connor Brown, it vacates the zone. Bounces off the boards. Slows to the corner where it is Colin Miller first to it. Indy trying to get it out. Bounces back toward the slot off of an errant skate. And it is cleared back down and out. To it is Atkinson. McDavid there as well. Worked back in. Jamie Benn trying to get it toward the net. Atkinson laying down to make the clear. Colin Miller once again winning that race. Taves now to it defensively. Trying to clear it out. They do get it out. A chance for Indianapolis. Bjorkstrand missed the net wide. Still with it are the Royals. Ben had it, lost it. Worked back toward the slot. Cam Atkinson to it. There's 6 minutes left. Finds its way back down to be picked up by Bjorkstrand. He lost it, turned it over, just wide of the Indianapolis net. And cleared again. And punted out of play for a whistle. 4:27 is left. Motorheads clinch a playoff spot with a win tonight. We'll see if they can do it. Colin Miller to it. I do believe even if the Motorheads go to overtime, that spot is clinched.
Yes, although Motorheads needs a point.
Worked around. Off the inboards, bounces towards the slot. Back there to get it is Jared McCann. Detroit trying to lay on the pressure. Cleared out. Their goaltender has left their net. We'll see if this works. It's been successful before. Detroit lost the puck. Work toward the slot. Does not go. 1 minute to go. Worked free. This could go. It slides. It slides. It scores. It's a goal. 48 seconds to go. And the Detroit Royals have tied the game.
Unbelievable, Detroit. Never say quit. This isn't the first time they've came back, although this was only a 1-goal deficit. Came back in a game earlier in the year down by 3. This Detroit team never says die. Never says die. They're fighting until the end. 48 seconds remaining. They've taken pretty much the number 1 team in the NSHL right to the wire. Holy Mackinac. We're going to see overtime.
Off the draw. Well, never say never. We've seen goals scored with 9 seconds left. 30 seconds to go. Detroit works it towards the net. Jay shot it wide. We will see overtime. The Indianapolis Motorheads are bound for the playoffs.
And an unbelievable finish to that third period. The Detroit Royals, I mean, like I said earlier, they just never say die. They just keep coming, keep fighting, and finally, the puck and get a little bit of puck luck for them, and they finally solve Elvis Merzlikins. Unbelievable goal with just 58 seconds remaining in the period. The Royals get a point out of it. They're not last anymore for the first time all year.
Shots are 10-3. Score is 1-1. This is Indianapolis' game to lose. But once we get to overtime, the gloves are off. It's anyone's game. Indy wins the draw. They get it in. Shot, save, rebound, cleared all the way down. Work toward the slot. Cleared. This one trickles towards Lincoln's net. Just wide. The last time these two teams played, it went to overtime, and the Motorheads won on the road. Will the Royals take this one on the road? Let's find out. It's back into the Indianapolis zone. Cleared out and down. Bounces to the slot. No one there. How many times has that happened this game?
For both sides.
To it is Connor Brown. Shot saved by Lincoln. A couple more shots for Detroit. Worked out of the zone by Subban. Gives to Bobby Orr. Ran around behind the net. To it is Jake Bean. Kevin Hayes there for the Royals. Slaving out of the boards. And they scrum for it. A lot of checks here. You would think they were going to the bank. Bounces back through the slot. No one's there to point it the right direction. Brought back now by Niederreiter. Sent toward the slot. Save made by Lincoln and cleared. To it is Bobby Orr. Hayes is with him. Worked out. This comes all the way down. Could this go? Saved by Lincoln! It does not go! What a stop by number 32 for Indianapolis. Worked in just wide of the net. It is Rasmus Anderson to the puck. He lost it. Brought to the near side boards, Connor Brown. Playing it behind the net. Worked out. Jonathan Taves trying to beat Sean Monahan to it. He might have got a stick on it, but it is cleared out by Sean Monahan with help from Joe Thornton. Worked into the Indianapolis zone, bouncing to the slot, on the line, score! Connor Brown! And the Detroit Royals win this one in overtime!
Unbelievable. Detroit has come back and won this game in a game they had absolutely no business in winning. No reason to try, no reason to give a damn about, quite frankly. The Indianapolis Motorheads bottle it, and the Detroit Royals win it in overtime. Now for Indy, it's not that big of a deal. I'm fairly sure they've still clinched a playoff spot. But the Detroit Royals have won this hockey game off the stick of Connor Brown. An unbelievable finish. Let me just look at the standings here. This moves Indy back into first place in the Southwest Airlines Conference, but everyone else does have a game in hand over them. My goodness gracious, Detroit has won this hockey game.
Man, what an outing. A good game all around for both teams. Chances for both squads. It was even the whole way through. I would say that the Indianapolis Motorheads might have had a bit of an edge in the shot department, and they might have gotten a couple more scoring chances, but we saw action at both ends of the ice, and this ended the only way it could have. The Detroit Royals and the Indy Motorheads split their season series, and I believe both games were decided by a score of 2-1, and in both cases, it's the visiting team coming out with the victory. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the rest of the games this week. Starting off with the San Francisco Flight visiting the Copperopolis Crew. The San Francisco Flight need to win that one. We hope to see you there in-game for that one. Crew are eliminated. A win for them does not mean much. The Quebec City Bandits then later today, the last game of the evening, they play the Amsterdam Red Bull in hopes of taking over first place in the PPG Paints Conference. And the Amsterdam Red Bull are in much the same situation as the Flight. They must win if they are to keep their playoff hopes alive. Then, later on in the scheduled week, the Lillies Fencers take on the St. Louis Cyclones as St. Louis makes a bid for the top spot in the PPG Paints Conference, and the Lillies Fencers look for a playoff spot. The Chua City Dragons are visiting the New Orleans Wildcats. Chua City cannot make the playoffs, but the Wildcats are the fourth place team in the conference. A win for them, I do believe, would clinch. The Tampa Bay Ilves visit the New York Liberties. A win for the Ilves, I believe, clinches them a playoff spot. And the New York Liberties are already mathematically eliminated. The Washington Nationals take on the Vancouver Outlaws. Washington clinches with a win this week. The Vancouver Outlaws are already mathematically eliminated. The Clearwater Threshers visit the Boston Riptide, and that will be an important one for the Threshers and for the Riptide. Boston looking to potentially take over the lead, or rather keep. Actually, no, it's they're looking to clinch, I believe, the lead of. Well, actually, no. They would be looking to take back the lead because Indianapolis, with that extra point, I do believe, moves ahead of Boston for now. A Boston win. Yeah. A Boston win would regain the top spot in the conference, and then it would come down to the final week of the season. Clearwater Threshers must win as well if they are to keep the. Well. Yeah. The Clearwater Threshers, I don't think, need to win, but they probably should win if they are to make it into that final playoff spot in the Southwest Airlines Conference. So it's a busy week upcoming in the NSHL.
I don't mean to cut you off, just really quick. The Motorheads have not yet clinched a playoff spot. The Motorheads are now at 20 points. The Clearwater Threshers are the fifth seed team currently. But if the Motorheads were to lose in regulation next week, and the Threshers were to win their next two games, the Threshers would get in on regulation wins. So the Motorheads, it is possible that the Motorheads do not make the playoffs. So they have not clinched quite as of yet.
Alrighty then. Well, we'll see you next here on the channel for the Clearwater Threshers and Boston Riptide, but we've got 6 games in between that now and then. We hope to see you in maybe a couple of them, starting with the San Francisco Flight Copperopolis Crew. That game is coming up next in-game. Join us. But until our game between the Threshers and Riptide, I've been Dean P, and alongside me has been Builder. We hope you enjoyed this one. Take care and good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.